So the latest N7 day teases dropped, and they all point to the new N7 likely being Shepard. But even though this means our favorite commander might be back in the next Mass Effect, their return as this N7 was probably an insanely complex plan built up from before the Andromeda Initiative even launched. Before we get to that theory though, let's first dive into why every tease about this new N7 points to their identity being Shepard. On last year's N7 day, after translating binary code, typing in specific words into URLs, and counting down the seconds to the first tease, we finally got a 6-second clip that shook this fan base to its core. We saw someone walking with clearly defined N7 shoes, which was enough to get the unhinged theories churning. A lot of fans, myself included, thought that this pair of shoes belonged to Shepard. And after the second clip that showed the N7 stripe, the theorizing went straight to euphoria, because with each new tease, we were getting more and more vibes that we were about to see the one and only Commander Shepard. But then the final clip dropped, and within seconds, all my Shepard hopes instantly evaporated. Everything in the tease's lead up, from the rise in music to the N7 attire, to the lingering idea of Shepard maybe coming back after seeing that N7 insignia, was pointing to the N7 being Shepard. And yet, when the N7 finally turned, I could find no conceivable way that this N7 could be our commander. That is, until now. On N7 Day 2022, there was a tease that involved the new N7 that was likely just as intentional as the one last year. That tease being the N7 stripe in the bottom left corner of the relay video. It's pretty hard to see, but it's definitely there, most likely as a reflection of an unseen N7 watching the relay through a window. The reason I'm convinced this N7 stripe was put there on purpose was because franchise director Gamble basically hinted that the N7 was in the relay tease with this tweet. When directly asked if the N7 was involved with the new relay, Gamble said, "Maybe it's connected." So knowing that this N7 stripe was intentional, there is a very strong chance that this was once again a nod to Shepard. In the very first scene of Mass Effect 1, before we even see Shepard's face, we see their N7 stripe in the window's reflection, although the stripe in-game is in the opposite corner of the one in the relay. I'll get to a wild theory on what this discrepancy could mean in a bit. The main point to take out of this N7 reflection is that it has a major Shepard connection. When I first analyzed this, I thought it was just a coincidence. But after seeing the Shepard connections from this year's teases, there's very little room, at least in my theories, to view this N7 as anyone but Shepard. 1 year after the N7 was first revealed to us, we received 3 new teases in the form of armor pieces directly linked to what the N7 is wearing, and to Shepard. The helmet directly matches the new N7's, with the visor and the pattern wheel. And while the Paragon of Leadership doesn't visually match the new N7, it does mention that it's perfect for operatives trusted for command. This to me is another nod to Shepard, either as a Spectre operative or an N7 commander. And the final item is a direct visual match to the N7 coat worn by the character who is most likely Shepard, which is named Spectre of Battles Past. In the games, there was no other character we knew of that was both an N7 and a Spectre. So to me, this, along with every other Shepard tease I've gone over, undoubtedly proves the new N7 is Shepard, but with an insane twist because of the way Spectre is spelled. Before we get to that insanity though, we have to go over why everything from this year's tease was very intentional. The items gifted on N7 Day weren't just an N7 cameo in Dragon Age. If they wanted to do something like that, the team would have revealed armor that's more iconic, like the N7 set Shepard donned most often, which we saw in the Destiny 2 collaboration last year. Instead, they chose to give 2 items that match the relatively unknown N7 shown in last year's tease. That's why I think these armor pieces matching the N7, while being littered with Shepard references, was intentional. This approach is very different from the time they showed an N7 in the Andromeda announcement trailer, and then it turned out we didn't get to play as one. We've gotten direct Shepard references, with teases that are purposefully multiple times getting us to think about Shepard, which rules out these teases being just for show. So with all that being said, the truth of the insanely chilling twist of Shepard's return is likely revealed by the coat's name of Spectre of Battles Past. Many fans, including myself, believe that this was an intentional homonym of the word Spectre, which in Mass Effect is the name given to the elite agents directly working for the Citadel Council. However, this coat wasn't spelled with Spectre ending in the letters RE. The simple flip of the R and E provides mind-blowing context of Shepard being teased as the new N7. Because when Spectre is spelled this way, it doesn't mean elite agent. It means ghost, which makes this coat's translated name Ghost of Battles Past. And with every tease we've gone over so far that points to the new N7 being Shepard, this hauntingly named item brings me to one chilling theory. This N7 is definitely Shepard, but it isn't actually them in the flesh and blood. Instead of having their heart, this N7 has Shepard's battle data in the form of a machine, making them a ghost of our commander, which Gamble hinted at last N7 Day. Last year, Gamble was asked if the N7, who we now know is probably Shepard, was a person or a robot/AI, and Gamble shrewdly answered, "What's a person?" If this N7 truly was our Shepard from the games, why would Gamble say this? Unless he was trying to hint to us that it isn't really Shepard. It's Shepard's ghost, in the only way that it makes sense with everything else we know about the N7. In other analyses, I've gone over why this N7 most likely isn't any known species of alien we know of. I eventually concluded that because of the helmet's size, shape, and general look of it resembling a brain, this N7 is most likely an AI, which, putting two and two together, insanely but likely makes the N7 an AI in the form of Shepard. The ghost of Shepard's past has taken literal form in a walking and clearly battle-capable version of Shepard. If we remember the mirrored glass from earlier, I think this was a very clear hint by the Mass Effect team to us about Shepard's first introduction, but with the added twist of the N7 reflection literally being mirrored to how we first saw it, making it the ghost of Shepard's reflection in more ways than one. On top of that, I always found it incredibly strange that Gamble chose to include binary code in last year's blog post. But in thinking about it more, this type of code is used in programming, so maybe he was trying to get us thinking about programming like what AIs would use. And we also can't forget the evil musical choice when this supposed Shepard AI was finally revealed, which leads me to a theory about why this Shepard AI creation was part of an insanely complex plan by none other than the head of the Systems Alliance. In Mass Effect, AI development is heavily restricted, particularly in Citadel space. Because of this, humanity's AI development was limited to Alec Ryder's personal endeavor of creating Sam, but this project was eventually shut down by the Alliance. However, even though the Systems Alliance shut down Alec's AI research in the 2170s, in the 2180s, the Alliance completely changed their tune. In the book Mass Effect Initiation, Cora Harper discovers that by the year 2184, the Alliance is secretly run by an invisible conductor who wants AI technology more than anything. In previous analyses, I've discussed how this invisible conductor is most likely the Benefactor, which would make the Benefactor the secret leader of the Systems Alliance. This theory, at least to me, makes a lot of sense, because the leader of the Andromeda Initiative revealed to Cora that the true purpose of the initiative was to develop an AI, which was entirely funded by the Benefactor. So because the initiative's true goal was to create a fully conscious AI on the orders of someone who also pulls the strings of the Alliance, and we're now seeing what seems like an Alliance-controlled, fully functional AI walking around, I think it's extremely likely that the Benefactor is the one who ordered the creation of this Shepard AI, which makes this Shepard AI, who most likely has the battle data of our former commander, under the control of the Benefactor. Now, the one confusing part of this theory is that on last year's N7 Day, We saw the reveal of this Shepard AI while also seeing words like Warning, Breach, and Contact Systems Alliance. If the AI was Alliance approved, does this signify that the Shepard AI is defying the Alliance and thus the benefactor? Or that it wasn't actually an approved AI in the first place? Could this be the control-ending version of Shepard gone rogue? Or even a version of Shepard who's had their consciousness uploaded from the Geth server mission? I'm not sure if any of those are true, but I do have some further theories about it, which I won't get into here. If this N7 is Shepard in AI form, I'm sure we'll eventually get a big reveal that they're officially coming back. And the only place to drop a reveal of that magnitude would be at the Game Awards, which just so happens to be happening next month. I don't know for certain if we'll get a Shepard reveal then, but after analyzing one recent Gamble tweet in particular, I'm starting to think there's a chance, which I go over in this video. See you there.